Okay, so I want to start out with something that I read off the internet today. I study all the time, and so today I got the wild hair to look up online what people are saying about velocity banking. And so I put in what is velocity banking, and I started just reading the first comments that I saw, the first articles that I saw, and lo and behold, one of the very first articles that I read is from a trusted source. Not going to be saying names, but I was almost angered at what I read. So after I read this, I said, okay, I'm doing a video because I am going to debunk this, because this is just so wrong that the American people are fed these lies of what banking is, what it should be, how we should do it. Like I've said 1,000 times in my videos, they teach us, our parents taught us, because their parents taught them, because their parents taught them, this is just the way it works. You get a job, you go get a bank account, you throw your money in it, and then you pay your bills. Is there anyone in the room that did not learn it that way? Because that's the way I learned it. It was just, this is the way it is. And if you want a home, you go get a mortgage. And if you want a car, you go get a car loan. And if you go to school, you get a student loan, right? So anyway, I pulled this up today after I just put in what is velocity banking, and this is what I read, and I'm quoting. Using an LOC or line of credit to pay down a mortgage faster can make people feel empowered. It's a complicated strategy to execute, and it makes everything feel faster. In reality, though, it's just a complicated way of making additional mortgage payments. Really? Okay. So I've spoken to a couple of people today about situations that they're in, and I read that and I thought, wow, everything is such a lie out there when it comes to the banking system, making us feel stupid because we're trying to change our mindset on the way that we actually do our finances, that we just feel our way into it, that we just feel empowered, that we just feel like we're making better progress. And that is so rude. Like I said, that was angering when I read that we are that we've not got sense enough to do anything but feel our way through the system, that we're supposed to do what we're told to do, and we're supposed to move in their way. We're supposed to go with the masses, and if we don't, then we're some of those conspiracy theorists that, don't have sense enough to actually live. And I just, when I read that article, that it's just a complicated strategy that makes us feel like that we are making progress. I had to show that the feelings are not feelings. This is math. This is the math that we were not taught. I say that in a lot of my videos because it was literally the math that we were not taught. We were not taught that the way we do banking is wrong. We were not taught that, no, you don't let your money sit in the bank. That's what they want us to do because that's how they make their money. 400 to 1,300 times. That's what the banks make off of any funds that we put in there, whether it sits in our checking drawing 0%, they thank us. Whether you put it in a savings account where it draws 0% or 0.145% or whatever else they want to throw for thanking you for leaving your money sitting in there, they are making 400 to 1,300 times the amount of money that you're putting in there. Look it up, BauerFinancial.com. So when I read an article that tells me that using an LOC to pay down a mortgage is just a way to make people feel empowered, I'm going to show you empowerment in numbers. Look it up. Get out your Carl's mortgage calculator right now. Get ready to put in your numbers and try me and see if the numbers don't work out to your benefit, not the bank's. Okay, so let's start. So I was speaking with a man today that has a mortgage. I'm not going to go over his entire scenario because he has a complicated one, because he has all kinds of options that are beautiful. I'm very thankful that he has the many options that he does. A lot of us do not have the sources that he does, but I was very tickled to speak with him today. So, Syed, if you're out there, it was a pleasure speaking to you, and I am using some of your numbers just to show that this article I read today is absolutely ridiculous that they would print something like that. So I am going to use your numbers, and this is where we're going to start. So he has an income, him and his wife together, of $72.80 approximately. His expenses are $49.42. I added in a food expense because when we talked earlier, I didn't see food on my list, so I added $1,000 a month for food. I don't even know if they do that. But hey, let's just play with the numbers on this. His cash flow stands at $22.66 a month, which is good. He's got a good cash flow to work with. He has a HELOC that is available at $240,000 and it's zero balance, so he can use that. His mortgage is $185 at $801 per month. Now, so I did my own figures, and we're in February of 2003. Nope, we're not. We're in February of 2023. I wish it was 3 so I could get some years back to do this better. But I figured that he obtained this mortgage in approximately January 2020 at a 2.5% interest rate, $200,000. We're dealing with this right now. $185,000 balance on this home. If he were to take this mortgage, throw it into the HELOC that he already has, this is what will happen. This is that feeling empowered that they tell us that we're just feeling it. Okay, let's look at the numbers. So the $185,000, if it was in a HELOC, he would bring his income and all of it would go into the HELOC every month. Okay, as soon as his income hits the HELOC, his balance drops to $177,720. Now, let's say this is a 6% HELOC. He's at a 6% rate. Well, wait, he's at 2.5% here. Are you crazy? I don't know. Let's watch and see. So if he's at a 6% HELOC here, then we would take the average daily balance. So the bank will take the average daily balance times 6%, and then that will be his interest charged of every month. But I took 6% by taking the high balance of $185,000 and then the low balance after he puts in his income at $177,720. Added those together, divided by 2. Times 6% divided by 365, because you have to divide that on out. When you do a balance times 6%, that gives you the whole year, okay? We're just dealing with a month here, so you would divide that by 12, or if you wanted to know the daily rate, you would divide it by 365, okay? So the interest on the $185,000 would be $912.30 a month. But because he's going to make an income deposit of $72.80, it'll drop it in one day down to $177,720. Guess what? Interest is charged on that one day at 6%. Then throughout the month, slowly, he'll pay his car insurance. He'll pay his food. You know, he'll buy food. He'll go to restaurants. He'll buy gas. You know, he might do that today. He might go back to the grocery store next week. Whatever he does, his subscriptions that come out, whatever his expenses are, dog food, it doesn't matter, utilities, it's going to slowly come out through the month. And as it comes out, he's going to get a different daily balance. So they take the average, which is what I did with these two. And so my average was $894.30 for his first month interest charge. Now his expenses come out, his interest comes out, and now at the end of the billing period, his balance is back up to $183,556.30. Month 2, going to bring his income back in to the HELOC. His balance will drop down to $176,276.30. His expenses will come out through the month. And then look here, his interest is $887.10. Again, I took the high balance and the low balance, added them together, divided by 2, times 6%, divided by 12. You can divide that by 365 if you want the daily rate. So the $887.10, see how it's dropping? It was $894 here, $887 here. As that balance comes down, so does the interest charge. Month 3, he's going to do the same thing. He's going to put that income in to the HELOC. Looky there, the balance is down to $174,825.40. His expenses will come out through the month. Then his interest charge is at $880.10. Then his balance is $179,767 at the end of month 3. Okay, so if we have done this for 3 months, income in, expenses out, he's at $179,767, which means that he has paid down his principal balance $5,232.60 in 3 months. Now, let's act like he stayed in the mortgage, and let's talk about what happens when we're actually using a mortgage. So I did the same thing, Carl's calculator, took it all the way up to February of 2023, and then pretended that he is doing the same thing here, except he's continuing to do nothing but throw mortgage payments into this baby. All right, 801, remember, he's paying $801 a month. So when he is making his payments, he is going to make them for 13 months. Do y'all see this? 13 months of mortgage payments. The total that he will pay for the 13 months is $9,938.40. That's the total payments for 13 months. Then he will have paid $4,459.61 in interest alone for 13 months, making his balance $179,603 in 13 months. We did 3 months and came up. Can you all see that? Oh my goodness. It's $179,767.40 in 3 months. So he paid down his mortgage principal from the $185 he stands at today, $5,232.60 in 3 months, just doing velocity banking. He didn't go get another job. He didn't get frugal and stop spending money. He didn't cut up his credit cards. He didn't eat beans and rice. What else is it Dave Ramsey says? He did not see a restaurant unless he worked at it. I know all of it. I went through Dave Ramsey. I know all about him. A great person, but he's living in the 60s. We can't live on a cash system. The United States has not been on a cash system since 1971. We're a fiat, right? Cash flow is king, not cash flow. So he has good cash flow, and we know how the rich bank. We know what the banks are doing when we're not looking. Their money's working for them. Our money's working for them. But this is where you can take it back. When you take it back from a mortgage, put it into a line of credit. I don't care what kind of line of credit. You can have a HELOC, you can have a credit card, doesn't matter. You can use a line of credit to pay off any loan you have, and you can do it 10 months faster this way than he will do it if he stays in this mortgage for 13 more months, paying all of that interest. So I figured up how much interest did he pay. So we did $894.30, $887.10, $880.10, and I came up with $2,661.50. Okay, so this is his interest. But there's one thing that I didn't remember to add. Remember this 801 payment? What happens when we do an income transfer into a line of credit? We satisfy that payment. He doesn't have that anymore. He only pays the interest. And that's $894.30, $887.10, and $880.10. So if you take the 801 out of his expenses, and then you add the 801 to his cash flow, what did he really pay? What did he really pay in interest? Well, let me show you. These totals come to $2661.50, right? If you take 801 times 3, which is 3 months, that's all. 3 months is all he did right here. Then that would be $2403 that we would deduct because he didn't have $49.42 in expenses. He had $801 less. He paid $258.50 in interest over 3 months. What did he pay right here in the mortgage to get to this same balance that he had here? $179,767.40. He's at $179,603 in 13 months. He will have paid $4,459.61 in 13 months to get to that balance. He got to the balance in 3 months, and he paid $258.50. If that doesn't convince you that we are living in a rigged system, then you're not listening. You're not opening up your mind to what's happening. So I wanted to let you all know this is not a feeling. This is real. This is what the banks are using when they take your money that you leave sitting in savings and in checking, and then you take out these loans and then you're paying them the interest. It's a double whammy. You're leaving your money in there. You're letting them draw their interest. You're letting them loan out to people. They're making 400 to 1,300 times your interest off of your money that they're paying you the 0.145% to use your money, while they're out charging this guy 2.5%. I'll bet money that you're not going to get a mortgage at 2.5%. You're looking at more like 5 to 7% right now. And then inflation at 9.1% on top of that. Your cash is getting depleted. If you have savings sitting in a bank and you have loans, you are playing the game just like they want you to play. You are feeding them when you need to be using your dollars to invest in yourself and get out of the debt, get out of the paycheck to paycheck. And this right here can help you. Velocity banking is a beautiful, beautiful way to live financially. So if you want to pay for your individual personal whiteboard to get done, I can do that. But anything you need, you don't have to worry, because you have videos to watch and everything in there is for your use and it's free. So study, study, study. I study every day. I want to learn more. I do want to learn a lot more. So I stay on top of it and I study a lot. And I hope that you all will hang with me as we learn this together and we grow together. And hopefully when we're in our 70s, we are wealthy and set. So thank you to everyone that watched tonight. Have a great week, and I will see you in the next video.